Hey you, yeah, I'm talking to you. That shirt you're wearing is so not cool. Why don't you head on over to TristenLawShow.com and get yourself a new shirt. Not only will you be cool, but you'll also be supporting the show. What are you waiting for? Go now and get a hat too while you're at it. Thank me later. We're the show at TristenLawShow.com. Views expressed in this episode are those of the guest and not necessarily those of myself and the Tristen Law Show. Welcome back to the Tristen Law Show, and I am Tristen Law. This is where I introduce you to the personalities in and out of the professional wrestling ring. The best thing about this podcast is that you don't need to be a professional wrestling fan to enjoy this one. Don't believe me? Keep listening. Well, we've made it to episode 8, so that means that we are officially a podcast. No, not that we weren't a podcast before, but we broke the dreaded 7-episode then go away podcast curse. I have a truck ton of interviews stewing and brewing, and I wish I could just release them all at once, but my producer won't let me. Because we'd run out of content, because we'd give you too much to listen to at one time. But I do want you to know this, that the best is yet to come. I did convince my producer to give you something special for the week of Thanksgiving, but don't ask, because he told me not to tell you. This episode, I'm going to introduce you to Andrew Magic Morgan. This episode is unique because Magic does the interview in his car, and at times, you'll be able to hear the streets of New York City in the background. If you ever lived in New York City and no longer do, those sounds will take you right back home. Magic is a father. He's a pro wrestler and an all-around nice guy. He's a legend and an icon in the New York, New Jersey area. A lot of the wrestlers you may know have passed through the fingers of Magic, including myself. Do you know Magic? Well, if you think you knew him prior to the Tristen Law Show, I've got a whole new page for you to read on him. Magic and I are going to talk about how he adopted the name Magic, what it was like growing up in New York City, plus some racism he experienced while he was growing up. We chat about how he dabbled in playing for the NFL and the USFL football leagues and so much more. So kick your feet up, keep working, keep running the treadmill, or whatever it is that you do while you're listening to the Tristen Law Show, because when I return, I'll be back with Magic. I'm Tristen Law, and you're listening to the Tristen Law Show. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll be right back. Hey there, it's your pal Tristen Law. Do you find yourself skipping past these evil advertisements every week? Well, you should feel lucky to skip past this one because I have the solution for you. Run on over to patreon.com/TristenLawShow and free yourself from the evil grip of advertisements. Choosing the ad-free support option, not only will every episode be ad-free, but you'll get every episode days earlier. But if you love the ads here in the Tristen Law Show, there's an option on Patreon to simply support the podcast. There's something here for everyone. Head on over to TristenLawShow.com for more info. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out at the Tristen Law Show, because where else would you be if you weren't be here? That's right. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcast if you're listening to us on Apple Podcast. But like I said, before I went into the break, my guest at this time has his fingerprints on a handful of guys and gals coming out of the New Jersey pro wrestling scene, including Jay Lethal and obviously myself. He is a self-proclaimed professional eater. He is the legend. He is the icon. He is Magic. Magic, what's going on? Welcome to the Tristen Law Show. How are you?
Hey, man, I'm excited, man. Thank you, man. You know, with the weather acting kind of weird today, but everything's good.
Hey, well, you know what, Magic? It is weird. It's been weird a lot lately between coronavirus and between the weather that we're having now. But your family's safe? Everybody's good? The wife is good? The kids are good?
Everybody's good, man. The whole family is good. All my friends are good so far. we're all doing healthy.
That's good. The last time I saw you probably was in February. We were down at the Pro Wrestling Magic School, so I can't wait till I see you again, because unlike a lot of other New Jersey wrestlers, Magic, you've been pretty influential in some of the stuff you've done for me. So I'd like to thank you in advance for that.
Thank you, man. I always say I didn't do it. You guys did it. I just showed y'all the basics. And basically, you guys went and did what you had to do. Y'all are the ones that did the work, basically, I could say. I just guide you guys, and, I don't take credit for that. Something I love to do. Like they say, pass it down.
You call yourself a professional eater. So what I want to know is, what does someone have to do to title themselves as a professional eater?
Just eat, enjoy your food, man. I enjoy eating, man. I'll call myself the king of buffets, I love to go to buffets, man, because I can sit there for 2 hours eating and chatting, talking crap like I always do,
Oh, so you're the kind of guy that tries to put the buffet out of business.
Yeah, I don't want to put them out of business. I just want to fill my gut up.
Well, Magic, I think that you've succeeded, because I don't think a buffet's been open since March.
Yeah, that's a little sadness, because I've been gaining weight since the buffet been closed.
Wait a minute, Magic, that doesn't work.
Well, it works for me, because you know what? I work myself out. I get a good workout, and then I go to the buffet to eat, and then after I go to the buffet, 2 days later, I'm back out working out at the gym. I can the buffet.
Magic, have you ever heard of Joey Chestnut?
I ain't heard of that name before.
So Joey Chestnut is the reigning and defending Nathan's hot dog eating champion.
Yes.
He's been the champion from 2007 to 2014 and 2016 to current. However, with the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, the winner gets $10,000 and a belt. Here's what I want to know, Magic. Do you think you can take him?
Well, personally, I don't like wieners. I don't like nothing wiener in my mouth. But nah, I don't think I can ever take on that guy. That dude, them guys are, I don't even think I can take the woman on. I like hot dogs, but I'm not big on the same food. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I like different varieties. I love Chinese buffets because I can eat shrimps, crabs. If I want a steak, I can eat beef, pork, whatever I want to eat, I have a different flavor,
Right.
And I don't have to race. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to race to eat it. These guys, they got to pop like 100 wieners in their mouth, but I'm not too happy about popping 80 wieners in my mouth.
So, Magic, are you one of the guys that when you go to the buffet, do you put dessert on the plate at the same time, or do you use a separate plate for dessert at the buffet?
Actually, you won't believe it. I do not go after the desserts. I'm really not a big dessert eater there. I think the buffet desserts suck. But I will eat a lot of food, and the only thing I'll eat there is big on me is the ice cream. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of ice cream. I don't like that fake ice cream from the machine and all that, but I will eat like ice cream sandwiches that have it. And my favorite is the pudding with vanilla wafers in it.
Oh, yes, those are good.
That I'll eat I'll eat 2 plates of that before I leave. And a lot of people don't believe I don't drink soda.
You don't drink soda at all?
I drink soda, but I won't drink soda at a buffet.
Oh, right.
Water and stuff like that.
When you go to the buffet, it's, for guys people that like to eat, they know, just like because I like to eat as well too. When you go to the buffet, you stay away from the soda, you stay away from the bread, and you stay away from the rice, because that's a gimmick to fill you up.
Well, no, I'm sorry, but I will eat some rice, man. I love some rice, man. Put that chicken with broccoli on top of that rice, I like my rice with peas. I like to mix rice. I hate plain straight up rice. But, man, you give me some that chicken broccoli, and I'll even cut steak and broccoli or the pepper hot beef broccoli, the stuff they make. Man, I put that all on a big plate, man. Shrimps, man, I'm big on that. Crabs, I eat the hell out of crabs. And clams, oh, man, I'm a clam king. And I love the octopus.
Oh, no, I won't do that.
The little squid.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one. A couple of weeks ago, you went on an eating tour where you went down south and you ate at the Waffle House. First off, Magic, I just want to let you know this. In my opinion, I think the Waffle House is gross. However, besides the buffet, what is your favorite place to eat?
Well, I like the Waffle House when I get it fresh and hot. I don't like waiting. People don't understand when you get it nice and warm, it's a different flavor.
Right.
A lot of people like it because I like grits. We don't eat grits as much at home, but when you get somebody to serve you food with a waffle, the egg, and a steak, that's me. I like eggs and steak and grits. So that's why I like the Waffle House. You know, and they give you that fresh waffle. I mean, if you ever go to the Waffle House, it looks like a shit place to eat.
It sure does.
I'm not going to lie about it. I ate at the steak place, and I can't remember the name. As soon as I walked in there, man, the hotel, I'm going to tell you about the Red Roof out in Virginia Beach. You know, I'm not trying to promote them or anything.
No, go ahead. Put them over.
Those guys really treated me well. You know, I never knew people don't really leave tips in hotels every day. I was leaving $5 to $10 tips for the maids.
Right.
And when I was down there, they got to know me. And they liked me, bro, because, they gave me a handicap room. I don't know why. I didn't ask for it.
Right.
But that they had. So I gave me a handicap room. And what happened, the chair fell when I ran the shower. Thinking the chair hits the shower, all the water went on the floor. So I had I had water all over the place by the time I almost fell asleep in the hotel. So I jumped up and oh shit, I stepped in water. I'm like, what the fuck? I run to the shower. I'm like, water all over. So I mopped up the shower with towels and everything. I was there for 4 days, and the first day I tipped them. I left a tip. They said, room service. I said, oh yeah, please. I mean, they gave me fresh room. And the girl was like, oh, you leave tip? She said, is that mine? I was like, oh yes, it is. So that $5, she appreciated that tip, and she talked to me.
Right.
The next day, I was like, again, I dropped $10 off.
Right.
So I dropped it off. But they were really cool. The staff was cool. And all chilled. They all talked to us. They were talking to me. They treated me like I was family down there. And they was like, yo, they was like, yo, you're the only one I know that leaves tips every day. And I said, oh, I appreciate it. And, they were talking to me and stuff like that. They told me where to go, what the best spots to go to. So they communicated with me, too, because, I don't know nothing about Virginia Beach.
Right.
I just know there's a beach out there. So they told me they had a museum, water park, and all that. And I was going to go to the water park, but that storm was coming. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to go because I'm supposed to leave Friday or Saturday. I had it to Saturday, but I left on Thursday morning.
So what's some of your, all in all, including Virginia, where do you like to eat the most?
Yo, I'm going to tell you, it was a place called 21 Street, 21 Street Seafood.
Uh-huh.
Best shrimps I ever had, and they did the waffle French fries. You ever seen the waffle French fries?
Yes. Chick-fil-A does those as well, too.
Yo, they were very good. And the shrimp melted in my mouth, man. Them fried shrimps melted in my mouth. It wasn't that expensive, but they gave you a bite. I took a picture of it because I ate half of it already. But I took a picture of the shrimp, and it was good. The place I didn't like was Bojangles or some shit like that.
Uh-huh.
Worst place I ever ate.
You've been an icon in the Jersey wrestling scene for maybe as long as I've been alive. Okay, maybe I'm pushing it. But what year did you get into the business, and where did you originally train?
I started, no exaggerating, I started when I was 19 years old. I was really doing a little backyarding when I was 18. A lot of people don't believe it was backyarding. I went to a school in the Bronx, Brooklyn, and I learned from a guy named Pedro. And it became the Puerto Rican Arena. He trained me, but he wasn't training me how to really wrestle. He just trained me how to get beat up by his son. His son at that time was like maybe 17, 16,
right,
or something, and he was putting his son over. I understand that, but I got it.
Right.
And I wasn't learning much. I just knew how to go over the top rope, and that was it. I knew how to go over the top rope and throw a fake punch.
Right.
I really wasn't learning my craft of taking body slams or any psychology of wrestling, because,
right,
when you first get in there, I do wrestling for real. I was pumping up, boy. I was working out and everything, bro. I was like, yo, I'm going to fight this guy for real. Yo, I'm a 225 guy. Oh, they're going to put me with the 225s, and you're thinking that, at that time,
Right.
And at that time, lightweight was 250 and under when I first started. You couldn't be over 250. most of the guys were small at that time.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm a small guy. I definitely got the lightweight division. I'm like, I'm not fire, but I'm gonna beat people up. I'm gonna beat them up like a heavyweight. So after I left, I noticed I wasn't learning nothing. So I ran into a guy called Tiger Mass. He was in a school in Brooklyn. So I wound up going to Gleason's gym and learned from him. Taught me a lot. And I learned a lot of psychology and everything. To tell you the truth, was there with Piper.
Mm-hmm.
You know Piper, right?
Yeah, Roddy Piper.
Not Roddy Piper, the other one. Bobby Piper.
Okay.
Bobby Piper was there. Primo the Third. It was a lot of big guys there at that time. Dick Snyder was there. So I learned a lot from those guys what a grounding was, what a wrestler is, you know. And it was me and the guy Tony, and they call him the Bulldozer or Chaos.
You went to Gleason's gym while Johnny Rods was running it, or was that before he was running it?
I was there before Johnny Rods got there.
Oh, okay.
I think it was actually running that company, running that gym was Bobby the Bull Eagle, that beach guy, I forgot his name. But I wasn't part of their school. I was part of, so they was running their classes. I ran with Bobby the Bull Eagle. So he was basically like almost my first real trainer. And then he closed down. I wound up finding about 3 or 4 years later, I found Iron Mike Sharps.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, me and Tony. That's when he was in Bricktown, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned from there. I learned from him, and I learned from Gino Garuso. And Bobby Piper was there, and I can't take nothing from Bobby Piper. He was younger than me, but he was more a technology guy. He knew what he was doing, and he knew how to put things together. So, you know, I give them the most credit, 3 of them the most credit. You know, Bobby Piper taught me how to be fucking tough.
Right.
You know, I was in there all happy and jealous, you know, I'm being a good guy. And, you know, oh, okay, whatever you want to do. And Piper was like, you know what, man? You too fucking soft for this. I was like, what are you talking about? You know, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. You know, and Piper taught me how to be rough. I in my shop used to stay there 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I learned from him as well. And then I went to Gino Garuso's. You know, they had that school show. Gino had ECPWA.
Right.
And went there, and we learned technology, technique, you know, chaining and real chaining and all that. Because I in my shop was a bruiser.
Right.
You know, he'll beat you down. That's what we learned. We didn't do all that top rope shit and all that, because I in my shop said, you're too big for that. When you're a big guy, you're 300 pounds or something, you don't need to climb ropes. You got to be that bruiser. So I learned a lot from in my shop. A lot of people don't think I did, but I learned from him, Bobby, and Gino Caruso.
Obvious that you trained prior to the internet, but because that's how I found my wrestling school, how did you find yours before the age of the internet?
How you say, word of, you know, I used to walk around and ask people. We used to go to indie shows and ask people.
Huh, okay.
You know, I saw an indie show one day. I went to ask, and this is how I found Pedro. Because I asked, and Pedro one day had a show somewhere, and he had a show in Queens at some little local community center. Wasn't that big. Yeah, about maybe 100 people in there could fit. And I'm just about 100 people, and about 70 people showed up. And I asked them, I said, look, man, I've been trying to do wrestling for a long time. I've been doing this backyard. I explained my details to them. And a little Spanish dude said, come to my school. I got a school in Brooklyn in a church. I was like, what, church? I was like, okay. And I went there, and then next minute I know they were doing the arena in Puerto Rico. So when I went back to them, now I've been talking about years, I went back to him, and that's where I met Homicide, Louis, a lot of other guys that was there. Steve Mack and all of them. That's how I met them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You see, for me, I was thinking, because when I was thinking about that question, Magic, I was like, well, how would I have looked for a school before the age of the internet? And I was like, maybe in the phone book. I'm not sure if they were posted in the phone book.
Tell you the truth, you couldn't find it at all. You didn't know where it's at. You had to ask a wrestler. You know, and at that time, a lot of wrestlers didn't want you to learn. Tell you the truth, a lot of wrestlers at my time did not want you to learn wrestling at all. And I'll tell you why. Because a new guy comes in, whose spot he's filling?
Taking your spot.
Right. So that's how they learned. That's what they did. At that time, they really didn't want to teach you anything. You know, it's not like it is now. Like, you can find schools all over the place now. But at that time, they wasn't trying to teach you too much of the business.
So, Magic, thinking back to when you started, since we're talking about finding wrestling schools and stuff, do you think it's easier now, or do you think it's easier back then to get into the wrestling business?
It's easier now, way easier, because now you got the internet. You type in wrestling school, professional wrestling school, they'll pop all over the country. At that time, you had to learn about word of mouth and find out the address that they gave you or a phone number. And then when I went to school, they beat the hell out of you. They beat the hell out of you. You give them that down payment, they beat the hell out of you. And you giving them $500 or $600, they beat the shit out of you. They don't want you to come back. They don't care. They only got $600.
Damn.
You know, it was $2,000. At that time, some people charge $2,000, some charge $5,000. So they get that down payment or half payment. Some schools wanted $1,000 to $2,000 before you walked in there. And when you walked in there, they beat your ass and they got $2,000. You knew you couldn't take it.
What a scam.
That's wrestling, baby. It's a con game, you know?
Right.
At that time. Still is.
You're right. You're right. Hulk Hogan even went through the same thing. He said that in one of his books that they broke his leg when he first went to wrestling school, and after his leg healed back, he actually went back and, you know, look at Hulk Hogan now, right?
See, that's what they wanted. They wanted to break you up to see if you were tough enough to come back. Bobby the Boy, you go, fucking dislocated my nose and dislocated my knee.
Damn.
To see if I was, I'm tough enough. Because, you know, a lot of people come in there. It's like, you know, you got like what they call smart marks.
Right.
So they took that. Like, you know, you coming in there and you're going to spoil the business. Let's show you what real wrestling. They had to make it look real to protect the business. Like then, now it's different.
Magic, while you were training, what difficulties or obstacles did you have to overcome in order to get to where you wanted to be?
Be truthful. I was short, fat, and I had to prove that I can wrestle. Because they looked at my size, my height, and like, this fat guy can't do this. You know what I mean? He's a nice-looking guy. He was built right. But at that time, you know, I went up and down in weight. So they always been a big guy. So they were like, this little short, fat guy, you know. I don't think he can hold up. You know, and then make you job out. I mean, I seen more ceilings than I ever seen maps in my career. And today, I still see the ceiling more than I see the map. And I don't care if I win or lose. I just want to have fun, man. This is like a big hobby to me. But the difficult was that I was a chubby guy, short, and most of those guys were giants at that time. The only ones were my height was the lightweight.
You were short, but I'm like, compared to today's standards, like you're just as tall as I am. Like, yeah, they come big, they come taller than you and I, and they're very few and far in between on the indies. But you know, you're a pretty normal sized guy these days in the professional wrestling business.
You know, I shrunk, but I was like 5'10" now. I got older. I'm like 5'9", I heard. One time 5'11" at one time in my life, you know, and then next man I'm 5'10", the next man I'm 5'9", and I'm still 5'9", I hope. Maybe I'm 5'8", who knows? Every time I turn around, I'm getting shorter and shorter.
Well, I hope you don't shrink up into nothing.
Yeah, but truthfully, you know, wrestling, I have fun with, man. You know, I have to admit, a lot of people don't understand. Wrestling saved my life, man. It actually did, man. Me not being a wrestler, I would have been in jail, or I would kill somebody, and somebody would kill me. You know, that's all I had in the streets at that time. You know, and my friends became wrestling friends. You know, I don't just have friends. I don't see them and say goodbye to them. I'm legit friends with most of my friends.
Right.
I'm legit friends with them. You know, and when I say I love you, man, I mean, I really love these guys, man. You know, I really love you guys, you know, and it wasn't for y'all, I was shy. And truthfully, I was a shy guy as well. A lot of people don't think so, but I was very shy. And wrestling opened me up more and more and more.
What kind of trouble were you getting into before you decided to jump into professional wrestling?
Oh man, not going to school, cutting class, getting in fights, beating up people because I wanted to beat up somebody. Yeah, like yo, word. My friend be like, yo, this guy bothered me. Let's go beat him up. That's what I did. Yeah, I was a fighter.
Where'd you grow up, Magic?
I grew up in Harlem and part of Jersey. I mean, part of Queens.
Okay, New York City guy, born and raised.
I was a Harlem baby, man, and then I wound up in Queens on south side of Jamaica, Queens.
You know, fun fact: Queens and Staten Island are those two places. Because I grew up in New York City, and I still live in New York. Queens and Staten Island are two places that I haven't frequented a lot. I can't tell you anything about Queens or Staten Island, like how to move or how to get through. But Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, yeah, let's go. I can tell you how to get around with no problem.
Man, Queens ran into Long Island, and at that time, Valley Streams, all that stuff, man. And at that time, man, that's what we did. We would, like these kids now, they hang out with fucking, what they call, they hang out at Dunkin' Donuts or
Right.
Starbucks, stuff like that. It was malls, movies, and arcade rooms. You know what I mean?
I remember that. Yeah, when I grew up as well too. When I think I became of age in the mid '90s to like 2000, and that's where we used to hang out as well too. Right after school, the first place we wanted to go, Magic, was the arcade. That's where we wanted to go. Or we want to hang out outside. These kids these days, like my sister, she's 18, and like I'm like at 18 years old, I didn't want to be home at all. Like people would think I didn't live anywhere.
Exactly. Me, I was in the streets. That's the whole idea. Running the street, chasing girls.
That's it.
That's what I did, man. Chase girls. My little fat butt was chasing girls, man. Having fun. I thought that was a sport, chasing girls, man, trying to get girls to like you.
Right, of course.
And I in the Bronx, it was Spanish girls, and you always try to get the baddest Puerto Rican girl out there at that time. It was a Puerto Rican girl or a black girl at my time. It wasn't too many white people. I have to say, it wasn't too many white people in my school, especially around 151st Street in the Bronx, and 149th Street in Harlem. In Queens, I lived on 153rd Street and Rockaway Boulevard. At that time, there wasn't too many white women around until I hit Staten Island.
Then you just went buck wild.
I was like, Staten Island, man. They were feeling me. I was like, all right, And you guys, because you basically, at that time, you were a little scared to go out with a white woman, because at that time, it wasn't that many mixed people until I hit Staten Island, man. And I'm telling you, man, this girl was mixed.
Staten Island.
And I was shocked to see black guys dating white girls and white guys dating black girls and all this gay stuff was opening and all that stuff. And I have nothing against gay. Let me tell you, man, everybody lives their life. I don't judge nobody. But, to see this happening, it was on Staten Island, and it blew my mind. I was like, damn, thank Bob for moving to Staten Island.
Because in the neighborhood where you grew up, all this stuff wasn't common. So this is like all brand new to you.
Truthfully, man, if you went out with a white girl, you was the man. Basically, you was the man. Black guy going out with a white girl is like a trophy,
Right.
I pull that, but Staten Island, it was normal. You didn't have to watch what you say and stuff like that, like I said, you had to watch what you do, because, I've been called, I'm going to use the word, I've been called nigga all my life. And I used to play hockey when I was young.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. Fun fact.
That's all they used to call me. Being the only black guy in Flush and Mellow Little League, playing hockey as a goalie. They put me as a goalie. And they used to spit at me and everything, man. I used to get in fights quickly. Yeah, I am 7 years old. Some kid spit at me and called me the N-word, It's different now, bro. It's really different, man.
Well, is it different or is it still the same? Because right now, Magic, we're going through the whole Black Lives Matters movement where we're seeking, fair treatment and equality for people of color. Because, for some people, if you're not a person of color, you might not understand because, you don't see certain things because you're not exposed to it. Just like you were not exposed to certain things until you moved to Staten Island. How do you feel about the whole movement that's going on right now?
You know what, man? I have nothing against it, bro. I think it's, do what you got to do. But we have to stop ourselves. That's how I feel. We got to stop killing each other and stop selling drugs to each other. You know, if you want to start something, let's start with us. You know, we have to stop killing each other before we tell everybody else to stop killing us. You know, we're going out there killing our own people, if you think about it.
Good point.
You know, selling drugs to each other, we're killing each other, we're shooting everybody else. That's where you need to stand. Where Black Lives Matter stands for all lives. You know, I think everybody has a right, but we all need to stand with each other to stop this from going on. That's where I see it. You know, I understand the cops, man, they're crazy, man. Sometimes they get a little too crazy, you know, and they get away with it, you know.
Right.
But for us to really do something, we have to stop killing each other.
So to jump back into professional wrestling, Magic, who are some of the notable pro wrestling stars that you trained with back in the day, like people who actually grew up to be big stars on television?
Oh man, there's so many of them. Like I said, I don't take the credit. That's what they did, bro. They pushed and they got better. You have Danny Mobb, Don Mobb, the Mafia, you know, for Ring of Honor. You have Jay Lethal. You have Charlie Haas. You have Santana.
Really? I didn't know you trained Santana.
Yeah, it was basically almost my last two. You got Chris Dickerson.
I know him.
T.J. McCooney.
I know him as well.
Eric Recall Clovis.
Oh, he used to be Corvus Fair back in the day.
Right. Papa Roach.
Yes.
He looked like a singer at that time. You know, Steve Orr, Chris Cunningham. They call Dr. Chris, or, you know, some of these guys name so much, I don't even remember. You know, it's so many people, man, you know. My memories are so bad now, bro, but it's a lot of people, man. I can think, you know, 50 people walk up to me and say, hey, man, Bill Thomas, Eddie Thomas, Homicide, Loki, they say. And truthfully, I hope Richie Rotten train.
That's right. You did used to write. You did used to help Richie Rotten train. I'm telling you, you even helped me. I always credit you, Magic, for teaching me A, the backdrop, and B, how to work like a big man. Because I never forget, you used to come down here on Sundays sometimes, and I'd be down there Sundays training around. And I was doing the whole, you know, when you get ready to lock up, I'm, you know, doing the whole holding the ropes and getting on the outside, like back them up. You're like, dude, you're a big man. Like, why are you doing that to people that are smaller than you? And I was like, yeah, good point.
Doesn't work that way. And you won't believe it, Andrew Anderson.
You train Andrew Anderson as well, too?
I'll train Andrew Anderson.
Damn. You've trained everybody.
And you know the tall one called the Monster, Melee Monster?
Yes. I
did the same thing I did to you. I walked in there, I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing?
Yep.
I said, dude, you're way too big and you're tall. You're not big, but you're tall, man. Use that tall height and widen. You know, you're a big man.
Magic, what inspired you to become a professional wrestler?
My mother.
So your mom was a pro wrestling fan?
My mom said she tried to get into it when she was young. And
really?
Yeah, my mom said she tried. You know, my mom probably could be bullshitting me. But my mom used to watch wrestling constantly. I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid when it used to come on Channel 9 at midnight.
What company was that? That used to come on Channel 9 at midnight in New York City.
And Mighty Igor and all those at that time. You know, I watched all those guys. You know, I watched Ivan Putski before he got bigger on his own. You know, at that time, Bruno Sammartino. And this is way before Larry Biscoe got around. Bob Orton, the father, you know, the original Bob Orton, Rocky Johnson. I watched Iron My Shark come and go. Gorilla Monsoon used to wrestle when I used to watch it. And I was around when Gorilla Monsoon and Muhammad Ali got into it.
Damn, that's a lot of old school wrestling. You could probably find that on the WWE Network. If not, you could probably find it on YouTube. Ali
came in there and started talking crap. He threw a few jabs, and Gorilla picked him up and gave him the airplane spin and put him down. And all Ali's guys jumped in the ring. for a body. Like, oh, when you're young, you didn't expect it to be staged. You're like, oh shit, Bob, you trying to be the greatest of all fighting. But it was great,
Magic, we know what inspired you to become a professional wrestler, but were there any other choices that you had other than professional wrestler?
Oh, I was a football player.
So the NFL was your dream?
NFL was my dream. I got to, when I was in Curtis High School as a sophomore, if you ever look it up, I was with the Kansas City Chiefs and tried out. But the problem was with me, not a high school graduated, didn't graduate from high school. I wasn't going to go back to school. I was 18. They gave me a tryout. I was at Curtis High School, and a guy named Dino Bible was working for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he saw me. And he got me a tryout. But the problem was I didn't go to school. I played the first amateur scrimmage game as a monster back, and it was great. And then I got a little older, and then when the New Jersey Generals came out, I tried out for them. I tried to be a center. But like I said, I got to pop Hershey Walker here and there sometimes. I didn't like that guy.
No, he wasn't your favorite person?
Nah, I thought Hershey Walker was shit. Excuse my language, but he was a cocky motherfucker. Then again, you can't, if you came to practice late, they fine you $150.
Oh, wow. That's probably a lot of money back in the day.
Yeah, that guy comes to practice late, nothing happens to him.
Where was your first match, if you can remember, and who was it against?
My first ever match?
That's right.
Was against Pedro Son.
What year was that, do you think?
Oh, man, I can't even remember years, man. I know it was like 4 months after my Corso training. And I wrestled him, and he was like wrestling. He was the world champion at that time. He was about, like I said, 17, 16 years old. And they wanted a big guy at that time. But I wasn't like super big,
Mm-hmm. So after all these years, Magic, do you still get nervous before you come out to perform?
Always. You're not normal if you don't get nervous a little bit.
100%. I agree. I still get nervous. Like newer guys always ask me, hey, do you get nervous? I'm like, I am so nervous. Like my hands start sweating. I just don't know what it is. But once the bell rings and we lock up, I'm good.
The nervous part is you always got to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
You can go to the bathroom and you're waiting. The next one you got to go to the bathroom because the match is coming up.
Yes. I just like me too, Magic. Like I'm like, you know what? I got to go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. And right before we go out, I'm like, I can go to the bathroom real quick again. But I'm like, no, because then I become nervous and anxious that I'm going to miss the time for me to go out. The music could be playing, but I'll be in the bathroom somewhere while the music is playing.
We all get nervous, bro. That's our favorite thing. We all get nervous.
Who has been your most favorite person to work with in the ring?
Everybody, tell you the truth. Everybody. I can't choose anybody. They all my favorites. Everybody. I don't have a favorite. I just have everybody.
I also know as well, too, Magic, that you were one of the cornerstones for Jersey All Pro Wrestling. How did you get involved with Jersey All Pro Wrestling?
Oh, Kane D in Chino. All right, it started, truthfully, it wasn't even KD. It was Kane D in Chino. I met Kane D in Chino at Gino Garusso's.
ECPW. Uh-huh.
And Fat Frank. So Fat Frank had a show. And he asked me a question.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me a question, and I said, okay. He's like, yo, I'm doing a show. And I was like, all right, let's do that. And I was with them. And, Chino started coming with me to train with King D. And I was helping Chino training and stuff. Chino didn't know how to do a Kunakon. What we call the Frankenstein, or some people call it.
Right.
He didn't know how to do none of that. And Chino was good. He was a little white guy. I was like, dude, why you not doing all this? And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. So we went down in my shop, and we trained, and we traveled. Every time you saw NC-17, you saw Magic. When you saw Magic, you saw NC-17. We were brothers. And to this day, we're still brothers. No, we talk to each other. I talk to KD more than I talk to Chino. But me and KD talk all the time.
So do you think Jersey R Pro Wrestling is ever going to be revived? Because I don't think Jersey R Pro Wrestling is a thing right now, right?
You know what? They were thinking about it, do a show once a year or something. I believe what I heard, it was the Corona that stopped it. The Corona came in, so that killed it because they were doing 2 shows a year.
Right.
And then the Corona came, so they stopped it, I have no idea what they're doing, I heard they want to do it, I heard they don't. But me personally, I feel like, there's a lot of wrestling companies. I think everybody should jump on if they can. Jump on as many companies you can now because wrestling is like some people are not coming back because they really financially hurt with this Corona shit. Excuse my language. I tell everybody wrestle everywhere.
So when the business started, Magic, when you were started in the business compared to now, what changes have you seen in the business compared to then to now?
A lot of babies.
A lot of babies now.
Yeah, a lot of bullshit babies. Little girls, all this, oh, you hit me too hard, or you tried to break my face, Wrestling there, you took an ass whooping and you gave it back. We got into it. We got into the match, right? If we had beef, we waited till after the match to handle it. We handled like men.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do all this cyber talking, keyboard thing. We met face to face. If I had beef with you, me and you will meet each other and talk about it.
Do you think social media like Twitter and Facebook has helped the business, or do you think it's hurt the business?
I think it's hurting the business right now because everybody, it's too much bullshit going on the computer. Now everybody's sexual harassment. Everybody's shooting on each other. This guy did that. This girl did that. It wasn't like that when I grew up, I mean, it was sexual harassment in wrestling, and it's something that's been going on for 1,000 years since wrestling started. And then, but it takes a tough chick to handle that. So no is no. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My personal thing, I don't believe you should wait to tell somebody a couple months later or a couple of years later. You make that fucking issue right then and now.
Right.
That's just what I say. Fuck that waiting a couple of years and write a book about it. No, tell what happened now. That motherfucker touched you, you fucking let everybody know. This motherfucker is touching me. I'm bothered. I don't like the way he's touching me.
Exactly. So he can be dealt with like now.
Dealing with it now. With all these girls getting bad names, being called whores and all that shit, whether they let it go. Then the next motherfucker tries to do it to a girl, and these girls are worried about getting their spots, because these motherfuckers are trying to fill them up and have sex with them and everything. I don't care about performing.
That's all that matters.
I have a wife at home. I can have all the sex I want with the wife. I don't think I need to go out there and touch that one, that one. I'm here to teach you how to wrestle, or I'm teaching you, you're going to promote my show.
Exactly.
Wrestlers, I don't give a fuck. She had the biggest boobs in the world. I don't care if she got the biggest butt in the world. She's the dime piece of all dime piece. If she can't wrestle, I don't want her. I want wrestlers. And I mean, there's a lot of beautiful women can wrestle.
I agree.
Everybody chasing that pretty girl. Oh, she look fine, but can she wrestle? And then you see her, you're like, oh, she can't wrestle. Why are you booking her? Oh, she looks real pretty. Look at the guy. You know what? I need wrestlers.
Exactly. You need somebody that's going to draw and make you money.
I don't need pretending wrestlers. I don't need people to play wrestler. I need a wrestler. That's the difference. I need a wrestler, an entertainer wrestler. I don't need somebody who want to play wrestler, because you put on a wrestling boots and tights and, I look like a wrestler. Same thing with guys. Oh, so what? He got a great body. But can he wrestle?
Right. Can you work?
I don't give a shit about all the muscles he got in the world. Yeah, you look good. But can you wrestle?
So do you think it's easier now for women to get into wrestling because the whole stigma has changed to where the female wrestlers are actually better athletes now?
Yeah, you know what? I always thought women should have been in wrestling and taken serious. I never thought like this is a man's world and all that. I've never thought that. But like I said, there have always been harassment, sexual harassment in wrestling, and most women have to deal with the bullshit. But truthfully, wrestling always been wrestling, and I think women from the '60s and everything, they were good. They were hard hitter. They wasn't flying off the top rope as much. That was like most of the Japanese girls.
Right.
But they beat your ass back in those days. Those girls hit hard, and they never got the credit.
Well, you know what? They're getting their time now. They just recently main evented WrestleMania about a year ago.
Truthfully, it's about time. Let's get rid of all the Barbie dolls and let's get some wrestling. That's the way I look at it. Let's get rid of all the Barbie dolls. Let's get some real wrestling. These girls are busting their asses. When they made main event, I was so happy about that.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost shed a tear. I was like, yes, they're doing it. They're doing their thing. Now let's go out there. All I wanted the girls to do, all I wanted Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Ronda Rousey to do was go out there and prove to everybody now that they belong there. Because I'm sure there were some people that were saying, "Oh, well, women can't main event WrestleMania." Well, you know what? It's happening. Get over it. And I'm glad that those ladies went out there and put on one hell of a performance.
Hey, dude, some of these guys are still stuck in their 50s and 40s. Men are supremia and all that. We do the same thing, man. Hey, man, I know a lot of women take care of their families more better than men. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
When your mom was by herself and the father's left, and who was stuck with you?
Your mom. That's it.
And you're telling me you can't give that woman the respect? Like that, man. She gets the most respect in the world.
For real. My mother's on a pedestal. She probably don't even know, but she's on a pedestal because she took care of she grew up 3 badass kids by herself. She had a little bit of help, but she didn't have help from who she should have had help from.
Right. And we all talk shit. My mom don't give a fuck, and then we get older, we're like, you know what, man? My mom was a strong backbone, man. She made me who I am. That's how we talk. If it wasn't for my mother being tough like a motherfucker and my grandmother showing the sweetness and kicking my ass at the same time, I wouldn't be the guy who I am now. I wasn't a good guy, bro. I'm telling you, I was not a good guy, bro. I made a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of shit I shouldn't have done in my past, and people don't believe that. Like, oh, not you. I'm like, dude, I wasn't the same guy you think I am. I didn't have patience or anything. And I said, wrestling changed me. I didn't want to be like any other wrestler trainer. I didn't want to be the guy to tell you, get the fuck out of my ring. You're not going to make it. I never want to bust nobody's dream. I'll sit down and have patience with you. And then when that motherfucker show you that he can wrestle and he's up there making that money, then you be like, yeah, remember that same motherfucker you told me couldn't be a wrestler? Look at him now.
Here's a very important question, Magic, and you can answer this question any way that you like. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
Who is Magic?
Wow. One day I was watching this movie with Washington, whatever his name, the actor. He did that plane thing when he was playing the pilot, the real life pilot, when he flew the plane upside down to save lives.
Yeah, Denzel Washington.
Remember when his son came in the prison at the end of the show and said, "Who are you?"
Mm-hmm.
I got stuck on that. I got sad because I didn't know who I was. And I get a little emotional about it because I said, who am I? Hey, my wife and my friend Karen, Melanie, called Gus Kind, those 2 girls, Christina, the girl used to sell my merchandise and everything. Those people came up to me and said, and they heard me, my heart break. I was like, who is fucking Morgan? Who's Magic? And they told me who I was. They said, you're one of the kindest guys. You're very patient. And the older you get, the wiser you get and stuff like that. And I was like, that's who I am. They said, you are who you are. They told me, have you heard anybody say anything wrong about you? I never heard a word about Magic's an asshole and stuff like that. Nobody in this business said anything bad about you. Everybody in this business loves you. And I was like, I don't think so, man. And when I talk to people, I listen to them like, hey, Magic, you was my first match. And you fucking put me over and you didn't have no problems. And you talked to me and we did a match. and so on, so on. People love to wrestle me. And I'm the most laziest wrestler in the world right now. That hit me. So Magic is me, a father, a hard worker, and love wrestling.
Well, Magic, I want to make sure that you understand that all those stuff are true. Like, I've never, in my years of running around New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York wrestling, I've never, ever heard a person come out of your mouth and say that Magic is an asshole. Like, if somebody said that you were an asshole, I'd have to tell them to show me proof because I wouldn't believe it. And I want to see a video because I can't believe it. The guy that I met, I never forget the time that you and I wrestled together in BWO, and you were the first person and the only person I've ever done a Huda Karana to, a Frankensteiner. And then you picked me up for the Shaolin Prayer, which is your finish. And it's like, I was never, put in that move before, but you didn't say, hey, look, kid, this is how you know. You said, look, all I'm going to do is pick you up, just do this and just relax and you'll be all right. And like, you put me over and you didn't have to. Like, that was a good match, Magic. You didn't have to put me over.
I enjoyed that, man. I really enjoyed it. Dude, see, this is the problem, man. What's so hard in me putting you over? We're still getting the same pay.
You're right.
It's considered entertainment. It's not like if I beat you, I'm going to go win millions of dollars and I'm moving up because it's not going to happen. You don't get the same fucking dollar, man. As long as you don't go home hurt, I don't go home hurt. We had a good match, man.
But you see, Magic, the mentality that I used to have in my head back in the day around that time when I first started wrestling in Jersey, and I tried to break this out of guys that have this mentality now. Wins and losses don't matter as long as you can go over there and get over. Like for me, I go out there as a heel, and I want to put younger guys over. I want to make younger guys and gals, because you know what? I want to wrestle a woman as well, too. I want at the end of the match that person is cheered, but at the end of the day, they still hate me.
It's so fucking, excuse my language, but it's so damn hard for me to be a heel.
You know why? Because you're a nice guy.
I ain't go in there and try to be dirty and everything. People cheer me on. I don't know why. I say, you know what? I think it's because I've been around too damn long.
So you're revered. You're a legend.
You know how that name got? How it became the icon legend? Louis.
Low Life Louis.
Low Life Louis. He said, hey, Magic, I feel to be the icon and legend. He wrote it on Facebook. I said, you know what? I'm going to run with that to be a hill. And I ran with it when I joined the X-Clan.
I remember X-Clan.
You're right. And I ran that, I'm your legend, I'm your icon. Stand up and show me some respect and keep your mouth shut. That was my key. Louis gave it to me, and I started putting shirts icon, legend. I'm the icon of BWO, legend, BWO, and I started using it everywhere.
How did you come up with the Magic gimmick, the Magic character?
I was a DJ. I used to call myself DJ Magic.
Really?
I was DJ Magic D. I used to be called Grandmaster Drew. So my name was Andrew.
Right.
There was a group in Harlem called the Drew Crew. We couldn't conflict. The people who booked me were like, yo, you want to do a little DJing for me? I was like, oh, word. And they found out I was the Drew Crew. I was DJ Magic. Drew. So they thought I was the Drew Crew because at that time my cousin was part of the Drew. Not my cousin, my uncle. My uncle-in-law married my aunt, was part of the Drew Crew. And it was kind of conflicting. So I started calling myself Magic D. Now, the true story how I got Magic, I went with Magic because of the ice cream truck.
Going back to food, tell us. True
story. A kid living in Queens, sand on the side of Queens, you're in Queens, dust, sand, whatever you want to call it. The sidewalks were always sandy. Ice cream truck called Mr. Magic, Softy. I think I got hit by that truck about maybe 3 or 4 times, and that's a true story. One day, here I am, riding my bike. Oh, it's the ice cream truck. When you have $3 or $4 in your pocket.
Right.
Grandma, $3 or $4, and here comes the ice cream truck. I'm racing down there. I couldn't stop because I remember I didn't have brakes on my car, on my bike.
Right.
Right into the fucking ice cream truck. Bow. Second time, ran into the back of the ice cream truck. This time I had brakes, but I slid. Bam. And it used to have an embo, a big metal embo on it. And one day I jumped in front of him, like, stop. And he hit me. And the fucking imprint was on my chest.
Well, did you always get your ice cream? Those 3 times, did you get your ice cream?
Yo, well, I'm going to tell you the funniest part about the ice cream truck guy.
Yeah.
He used to come, I used to hear the song, ding, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
He used to come down my block, and you hear that ding, ding, ding. He went down so slow. I never scared that white man in his life. That dude was scared to come down my block. But all the kids used to hang out in my backyard. We used to play army, jump ramps, and stuff with our bikes. So he just come down my block, and he was scared. And then they really stuck with me because we were playing football, and at that time it was called the Jamaica line in Queens. And I had my football gear and was racing for the bus because the bus was leaving.
Right.
And I slid right under the bus. And the bus driver thought I killed. Everybody thought I was dead. It was raining. It didn't rain. It was like a little light snow.
Right.
And I slid under the bus. And the bus driver thought he killed me.
Damn. Well, I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah, everybody started calling me Bear and Magic. Some people call me Bear. Some people call me Magic. Because I always ground when I hit somebody.
Magic, what do you want your pro wrestling legacy to be? I mean, obviously, like we check in, one day we all have to check out our life. What do you want to be remembered for in professional wrestling?
A nice guy, I believe. One of the guys, you know? That's all. I want to be known as one of the guys. Nothing big. One of the guys, man. That's all. You know? I want people to tell stories of the stupid things I've done, the funny things I've done. You know, I want them to tell my kids. Not me, but tell my kids. My kids will know who I really were.
Right.
On the house of being dad, you know? They know I go out and wrestle and they know all that, but they don't know what goes behind the scenes and stuff like that. Remember my son, when I brought him to wrestling, I said, who's your favorite? He pointed to you.
I remember that. That was so long ago. That was like 2013.
Wow, you remember years. I can't remember yesterday. I remember. I said, who's your favorite? Tristen. He was so happy holding the belt and everything. I'm like, I'm not your favorite. No, he is. I'm like, I'm not upset about it. You know, like I said, I let my kids be who they love. Whoever they want to be favored of, they can be favored of. I'm dad, no matter what. I'm dad.
Well, I did see on social media that your kid, one of your kids is getting into wrestling now. I think that's the same exact one.
Yeah, well, at first my oldest was doing it, and then he went into bodybuilding because he took wrestling too serious.
Right.
And being his father, I can't train my own kid because at that time I thought, you know, if you're gonna be my kid, you gotta be 10 times better than me. You understand what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
I was trying to push him to be much, much better than me and no, it's not an auction. And I let somebody else train him because I know I was a little harder on him. He started training, and then he just took it, like somebody put him in a headlock, and he took it too serious, and he wanted to fight. And the next time I talked to him, he calmed down. And then the next practice at Jersey All-Pro, he wanted to fight again. I was like, this is not you, bro. This is not for you. Because you got to take a hit or two. You know, it's not that they're doing it on purpose, but you have to take a hit or two.
Right.
You know, I taught students at Jersey All-Pro, don't hold nothing back, but don't kill them. Because when you're in a match and you're in a guy's height, he's not trying to hurt you. You know when somebody's trying to hurt you. I dropped elbows on him. I said, mistakes happen. Somebody slips off. And you know some of those aprons, man, they suck.
Yep. There's some shitty wrestling wings out there in the indies.
You know, and the ring sucks. You make trip by mistake. Some wrestling rings, you can't even run across the ring.
Facts. You get your feet caught.
Bouncing you up off your balance and everything, you know. That's what it is about wrestling. You have to learn how to take the bads and the goods, stuff like that. You know, my favorite thing, wrestling without the ring. I used to make them wrestle without the ring. If you touch on ropes, that's 100 push-ups.
Oh, I remember that. You used to do that at BWR. I used to hate you for that, man. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, chops. So give me push-ups or chops.
Yep.
Everybody in the school have to chop you. Learn how not to use the rope. Because what happens when that ropes break down?
Then you don't know how to work. You're right.
Right. So all you know how to do is throw each other in the ropes and stuff. You know, I always thought the ring ropes was a prop. I'm giving up too much of the business. My kayfabe.
Kayfabe, brother, kayfabe. Magic, what is next for you?
Me? I want to open a company.
What would you call it? You can't call it Magic Pro Wrestling. Damn, because Steve Off has Pro Wrestling Magic.
Funhouse Wrestling.
When you open it, if there's anything I can do to help you, I'd love to help you.
Dude, help me to be in it. Dude, I want to change the way we look at heavyweight. I want to make a Lucha American belt. I hope nobody steals that from me. I want to make a Lucha American belt for the middleweight guys, the little guys, you know?
Right.
That's like a secondary belt. Yeah, I want to make the heavyweight belt for big guys. You know, I hate to see a guy is under 200 pounds is a heavyweight champion. A champion. I want to bring back heavyweight champion.
Mm-hmm.
I want big guys to be with the big guys, the little guys to be with everything else. My vision, and I have my partner with me. I don't know if she's going to do it with me or not. I'm not sure. But my vision was go back to the kids. I want to do a show for kids, not for the adults, but more for kids. You know, kids don't get to see wrestling too much no more. I want to be a family-friendly show. I want super heavyweights. When the kid looks up to the big guy, like, wow, that's a big guy. I want them to look at a heavyweight champion, and looking at him, he's the same height as you are, the other kid. But, you know, I want women matches. I like to see tag team matches, women and men. I want to make it like a circus. I want to order bouncy houses in the back of the building where, you know, and I don't want to charge too much. I want to charge $10 tickets. You know, I'm not trying to get $20 out of nobody, $10. When you pay to get in that gate, you go, your kids go for 2 hours. They can do the bouncy and all that stuff. You know, get these little local coasters, you know, what they call carnival trucks.
Yes.
Music trucks. You bring 2 or 3 of them in and let them have a ball. You know, when you come in, it's a magic guy. I need an MC that get people to sing with us and so on before the show, know the rules of our show. You know, have characters that we don't have no more. You know, I want that. I want to be like the not even the 80s, the 70s, but I want family. You know, if you got 4 or 5 kids, you can't afford $20 a kid.
No, you can't. You're going to get broke.
You know, so here I am, $10. And if you got 4 or 5 people, we make deals. You know, like, look, man, all right, give this guy, he got 6 kids, let's give him tickets to him for $40 for 6. I'm losing, so what? I lose. You know, I'm going to lose money. I know it's going to happen. But look, I thought, wow, you get more and more people to come to your shows, you make up that money.
Good point. Good point.
Like they don't have empty seats.
Well, Magic, I mean, I'll tell you this. It was definitely fun having you here on the show. I mean, I appreciate everything that you've told me. I appreciate the stories that you've shared with me.
Yeah.
Listeners, I know, right? We could definitely talk about hours. Listeners, if you're looking to find Magic, you can find him at Big Icon Magic on Twitter, and same thing on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Same thing on Instagram. Magic, put yourself over. This is your point. Put yourself over. Go for it.
Guys, I want to thank everybody who supported me in wrestling, all the fans, all the workers, all the promoters. You know, I'm in the business just to have fun, you know, and, you know, like I enjoy wrestling with Tristen Law. You know, I used to like to say I broke the law. You know, but I have fun with everybody, man, that came in the ring with me, you know, bad or good. I always have fun, and I don't disrespect anybody. You know, if you see me, come talk to me. I gladly talk to everybody. You know, I'm not a superstar. I'm just a human being like they are, like you are, and everybody else is. You know, I don't think I'm anything better than anybody else because I'm not. I'm a normal person, and I enjoy it.
Well, very well. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the icon, the legend himself, Magic. Hey, don't go anywhere because when I come back, I'm going to give you some thoughts and reactions to this interview, and I'm going to tell you who will be the guest next week on The Tristen Law Show. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Hey, it's your pal Tristen, and I need your help. Hold on, wait. Don't touch anything. I'll make it quick so you can get back to the episode. See, I did the Tristen Law Show because I like to create content and episodes for you to like and to entertain you as well. Since I probably don't know you personally yet, I want to get your feedback on this podcast. And yes, if I know you personally, I want your feedback too. Head on over to TristenLawShow.com and take the anonymous listener survey. Engage the show because your input matters. Now, back to the show. Welcome back to the Tristen Law Show, and I hope that you're having a great time. What did you think about Magic? There were a lot of things you didn't know about him, and I'm sure that there were some things you didn't know too, especially if you never met him. Here's what I owe Magic. It was a Sunday back in 2009, and I was at the BWO school in Hasbrook Heights, New Jersey. Magic came in, and I was intimidated because I've always been so accustomed to working with smaller bodies in the ring. Magic asked if I knew how to take a back body drop. It's a pro wrestling move, and I answered, no, I don't know how to take one. He said, do you want to learn? I said, sure, but I was terrified of being thrown in the air and flipped around and landing on my back. I remember at my first pro wrestling school, Team Foodie Academy, ran by Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley, when Bubba gave QT Marshall a backdrop, the hang time that QT had, because Bubba isn't short by any means. With full extension on Bubba's arms, golly, QT might have been 7+ feet in the air, and then comes the big bump when he hits the ring. My answer to Magic internally was no, but I said yes because I'm not a punk, and I want to conquer my fear. A fear that Magic could see on my face. Magic explained the mechanics to the move, and we attempted it. I landed it the first time, and to Magic's astonishment, I wanted to do it again. The mind has a mysterious way of making you not want to do something due to fear. The brain serves many purposes, but it also serves as a tool to not let us die. And if it believes that we're going to die, the brain says, nah, bruh, you want to play checkers instead? Because you ain't going to die doing checkers. The point is, don't be afraid. Go after what you want. And don't let fear be a factor. So thank you, Magic, for that lesson. And thank you for that time that you gave me doing the interview. Next week, I'm going to introduce you to Melanie Michelle of SWF. She's part owner of that wrestling company, SWF, and they have a show October 10th in Colts Neck, New Jersey. And you'll see me there as well. I need a favor, though. Yep, I'm talking to you. Share this episode on social media. Have you ever been to a great restaurant and kept it a secret? Exactly. That's my point. If you're listening in an Apple Podcast, subscribe because it alerts you when new episodes drop every Wednesday. Leave a review and rate the Tristen Law Show 5 stars. It helps Apple and my team know that you really liked what you heard, and the best part is, it's free. I know, you may not have listened on an Apple device, but wherever you listen, subscribe, and I'm demanding you to tell a friend. Want to support or learn more about myself and the Tristen Law Show? Type on over to TristenLawShow.com for more info. I'm Tristen Law, and until next time, adios.